So welcome back everyone, it's Crazy Welder, and I apologize for taking a while to kind of post some stuff. I'll try and get back into a regular cadence, but for today's video I'm going to be going over a couple of mods that I've wanted to do to my original Xbox for a while. One of them is I'm going to be replacing this 60mm fan over here with an 80mm fan for better cooling. Now, I've had a really quiet Noctua fan in here, and it did, for the most part, pretty good. But the problem is that the fan was not really powerful enough, even though it's really quiet. It didn't really provide enough cooling, so I'm gonna swap over to these Arctic fans. I've never had any issues with them. My R9390X actually had 90mm Arctic fans on them, 3 of them, and that cooled it down really well while maintaining basically a very quiet atmosphere for the computer. And last but not least, I'm also going to be putting in this this little capacitor here to replace the clock capacitor in the Xbox. The power store ones are pretty terrible, so I'm going to be swapping this out. And it sits over here, actually not too far away from, this little cluster of capacitors over here. So I'll do a video on how to do that and take this thing apart. I'm also going to need to modify the actual disc tray so that it can fit the larger fan. So I'll show you guys exactly how I do all of that in just a little bit here. Alright, so one of the first things that you're going to do is you're going to remove as many of these connectors as possible from the main board. There's going to be 2 over here for the power button and also the controller ports. You're also going to remove the power supply cable, and there's going to be 2 more controller ports over here that you'll need to disconnect, as well as the DVD drive and hard disk cable over here. And then you definitely want to remove your stock or whatever other fan you have in here to get to the rest of the screws on the main board. Alright, so once you've got your motherboard out, you just want to take note of which way your capacitor faces, and if it has a little arrow, which way it faces. So again, in this case, you can see that the kind of white arrow is facing this way, and the same thing happens here, and it's actually labeled on the motherboard as well, but you just want to look out for that so that you mount this guy in the exact same kind of facing direction as the other one, so that you don't have any issues with polarity as far as that goes. And it's always kind of a good idea to just clean up around the area to get a little bit of the dust out of the way. Alright guys, so in my case I just ended up using my desoldering station to take this out, but you can also just use a soldering iron. And you'll see that on this one it's actually written 2.5 volts. I'm not sure if the camera can actually focus on this guy. It's kind of, it's probably not going to be very possible to see, but basically it's kind of scratched off, but it says 2.5 right there. I'm replacing it with a 2.7 volt capacitor because that's the closest that I could find. But it's a 1F setup, and so what I'm going to do here is, now that I've put it in, I'm just basically going to solder the rear connections in place, and then that's going to be it. That's going to be the capacitor replaced. These power store capacitors tend to have a lot of problems and a lot of leaking, and typically while you're in here you want to check that any other of these electrolytic capacitors haven't got a domed top, so it doesn't have like a little, kind of convex, I believe, shape on the top, or that it hasn't been kind of distended at the bottom so that the the lower portions of it aren't bowing out to the sides. That's basically the easiest way to check, and obviously if there's any fluid leaking out of the capacitor, then you pretty much know it's dead and it's time to replace it with something a little bit new. So I'm going to solder this guy up, and then the next thing we'll do is the disc tray to get the bigger fan in here. Alright guys, so hopefully you can see now the green capacitor is in there and it's been soldered in. And here is the tray for the actual disc. Now you can see I've cut this away, and the way you want to do this is that there's basically a little kind of opening that sticks out this way, so you want to just get a Dremel or an angle grinder and just cut away basically until you can see that your 80mm fan fits in such a way that this part of the fan is in line with basically the edge of the DVD drive. You don't want it to be sticking out any more than that. And then the next part that we're going to do in order to get the fan to fit is we're going to basically cut out these little bottom sections here right along the edge so that it can sit in here nice and proper without touching the sides as it is right now. That way you're able to slot it in there, and we'll just use a zip tie to tie it down. Alright, so with all these extra parts now done, you can see again that everything is now buttoned down, all the screws are back into the motherboard, and I recommend putting the cables over here first, the ones for the front panel, before putting in the power supply cable in here. And then what I like to do is simply run a zip tie through the bottom where the original fan used to be. You may need to break off the little plastic tabs down there or drill them out to get the holes open, and then simply zip tie this fan down. You can use a zip tie gun or simply zip tie it by hand and then just cut off the excess, and then that allows you to mount the fan in here without it wobbling around too much, and then you've got yourself a nice and cool Xbox. Now, when putting in the main disk drive, on occasion, depending on the type of Xbox that you have and depending on the fan that you use, you may need to trim a little bit off of this post right here, or maybe even cut it down like a little bit on the side to get the fan to clear. Again, depending on your Xbox, you may or may not have to do that, but I've had to trim a little bit off of mine right on the side here just to clear the fan this way. So it's probably, you guys, I don't know if you can really see that in there, but this little ridge right here, I just had to kind of trim down with the Dremel, and then that's it. It basically fits in that way perfectly fine. Alright, so let's do a test with everything now back together. I'm going to power it on, and you're going to hear the difference here. So notice immediately how much quieter this version of the Xbox is versus the stock. And, you know, ultimately this has been working for me and my brother's Xbox so far, so I've now done mine. And so you guys can see that it's a fairly simple process. These two things make a big difference in terms of the longevity of the Xbox and in terms of its performance as well. So feel free to try out the same mod, and if you have any questions, just let me know, and I'll see you guys in my next video.